Maria with just another video. This is a follow-up to Don't Do Me Favors. So it's like 4:28. I got up like about 15-20 minutes ago. So I wanted to make this video really quick. And it's really important that I do, because this is, I want other target individuals to listen to this and say, hey, you know what, this could relate to what's going on with me, so you know how this whole thing works. So anyway, back to people doing me favors. I recall when I left the news station that my boss, Craig Jahelka, he assured me, I'm going to make sure you have a great, recommendation. I was given, he was very accommodating and very kind to me. And I remember, well, at least he was probably pretending to be, but yet somehow or another, the news station will not give me a reference, and I believe it has a lot to do with the fact that Polly felt entitled to call and say, I don't want her to give it a reference, or whatever. What I think is strange about this is that this is tied into my marriage, which is against the law. I did a good job over at the news station, and as far as I'm concerned, I should have a decent, and I was always complimented on my work, and that can't be lied, you can't be denied, because you can't change accounting, okay? Accounting is what it is, okay? Now, initially I was doing really good, I was collecting on, I used to win these awards for, like, keeping the aging clean, and then, like, as soon as I was doing really good, and then all of a sudden, like, I was getting harassed for that. Like, I was starting to feel tension from, like, Linda, the lady who was working there, for no apparent reason. So I'm looking back now, and there was slight signs of mobbing there, but not major. I mean, they pretty much kept things under control, but they did, there was a little bit of, like, that bullying, but not very badly. But still, it was a reference that should be verifiable. I mean, yeah, she was a good employee. I rarely called in sick, okay, rarely. So, I mean, yeah, so you can't just yank that away. Same thing with Karen. Now, I left Karen because I can't tell you how awful the harassment was there. So you get these people who, and I'm going to tell you the criteria of their complaints. Like, for example, over at not organized sport, Flourishing Art, okay, I was harassed not because of how I did my job, okay, I was harassed over clothes that I didn't want to purchase from certain companies, coffee mugs that were designer, and I just wanted to keep my regular coffee mugs. I was told by a girl that my sunglasses were outdated. Stuff like this, okay, that has nothing to do with your job that you're getting critiqued on, okay? Because basically what it is somebody who feels insecure, who wants confirmation of their path in life. So, like, and it is. This is how petty it has become, okay? So, really, I would prefer that I have every right to get my my references from these jobs. And, if they're not doing that, then it's corruption. Then there's fraud, and there's all kinds of corruption. And I really, because the Murray's issue was a completely different issue, I need to find somebody who's going to help me seek some sort of legal counsel, because I need to start doing something, because I don't know what I can do. I'm in a situation that is terrifying to me. She had no right to do that. Now, you get some people, like, for example, they might have an 18-year-old girl, and somebody, a family member, arranges a job for that girl, and they set her into a job, okay, and she does a decent job or whatever, and she can go on to the next stage, okay. That's the way it's supposed to be, okay. And some people might say, well, you know what, she didn't start off as an intern, or she didn't do whatever, and she didn't do whatever. That job was arranged. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is she worked there, and a lot of people get what they call lucky breaks, okay? It doesn't matter if Polly was assigning me that lucky break because she wanted me to take care of her son who had no other skills, okay, other than being a screen printer. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is it is a reference is a reference is a reference is a reference. So Polly has this God complex that she thinks that she could give me something and then take it away. That is illegal. Okay, it's illegal, period, plain and simple. So you have people like the news station, and I can't believe Craig Jahelka would fall for that. And if it's based on religion, if it's based on my marriage, or anything other than my work performance, then that's wrong, because I was told constantly that I was doing a good job, and you can tell that I was doing a good job because I didn't have to redo it, okay, obviously. So that's wrong. Now, in this case, for some reason, I do think it has something to do with sex. Now, we all know that when it comes to sexual harassment, the outline is very clear. You are not to do anything or arrange jobs based on sexual favors or blah, 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 blah. You should be able to look at the guidelines relating to sexual harassment. Okay, now maybe Piggy feels as though I'm supposed to be, or maybe Polly feels as though I'm supposed to be doing something that, really is none of her business. But the fact of the matter is that should not have ever hit employment. That is sexual harassment. Now, this is what I'm assuming, okay, based on a conversation that I had with a girl at work, and that must have got blown up out of proportion. That is obviously a red flag, okay? So what is going on with me is I'm being corrupt. I deserve every single reference every job that I worked, I deserve a reference. Nobody has the right to it. You should not cooperate with an employer should never cooperate with somebody. If I'm supposed to be getting evaluated on my job, meaning, was I assigned payroll? Was I assigned accounts payable? Was I assigned accounts receivable? Did I complete those tasks to satisfaction? And if I did, great. If I did, if that's what I'm supposed to be based on, okay? It's not about, well, she needs to change her clothes, or, she doesn't like the same kind of coffee I drink, or she didn't like the Mexican food that we were eating. Those are the things that I was basically being forced to contend with, okay? And that's the petty things. I know that I was mentioning activism of care. He was talking about how he too had to deal with pop quizzes from hell. Now, I'm not saying that's coming from his family, but it sounds like it could very well be, because a lot of these people who are into these jobs, a lot of these targeted individuals, their jobs are arranged anyway, because they get bought into these forced networks, okay? Like, for example, I never asked Polly for shit.